Okay, we're gonna start off with a real heavy hitter here. All right, so be careful, brace yourself. If you could only listen to one song for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Pop Culture by Madeon.
Pop culture by who?
Madeon. It's been my favorite song since I was like a little kid. Like I've always just loved that song. It was one of the first songs I ever heard, I think.
Really?
Because like when I was a little baby, my brother would just like play it on repeat and I would just dance. And I loved it. And I loved it throughout my childhood years, throughout my teenage years, throughout my adult years. I still love that song. I'm gonna love it when I'm old.
So you're obviously an actress. You're a great one from what I've seen. You're more on the theater side of things.
I tend to. I originally, okay, so I went to art schools in Florida. I went to Plamosa, then I went to Bach, then I went to Dreyfus School of the Arts in West Palm Beach. And I majored in theater, I majored in dance, I majored in chorus. But the one thing that stuck was usually musical theater. And I would just sing and dance. I did a couple different shows. I did Pippin. I did the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. It was super fun. I loved it. Then as I was transitioning into college, I was like, yeah, I love theater. And then for a minute, I was like, screen acting might be fun. So, being at Chapman University, it's like there's it has the number 4 film school in the country. So I was like, let me get involved. And I made friends with a couple different screenwriters and stuff. And they were like, hey, do you want to act in this? And I was like, for sure, dude. So now I mostly do like films and whatnot. And it's super fun. I love doing film. And I've been dipping my little toe into modeling and doing some other stuff and like PR and ads. So I'm like super into film right now too. It's really cool. But yeah, all of my origins, all of my roots are in theater and will be forever.
So you would say like in the future, would you say you would want to more so be in the theater side?
Um, Not necessarily. I think that I just want to be in the side of whatever is authentic to what I want and what I need. Like I just want to be able to be creative without boundaries. Like to be creative limitlessly and to be able to make the kind of content that I want to make and to be able to like do the things that I want to do and work on projects that I want to work on without having any limitations of like, oh, you're an actor, you can only do this. Oh, you're only a writer, you can only do this. Like, no, I'm going to do everything and then I'm going to make you like it and then I'm going to love it and then we're going to have a great time and everyone's going to be super happy.
I love that so much. So you also want to like make some of your own stuff.
Yeah, I I do make some of my own stuff. I do. I used to be really into poetry and writing. Like I just love creative writing. So I was like making a script is basically the same thing, but you organize it in a different way. So I started writing different scripts and stuff and just like sending them to my friends for jokes and be like, ah, this is kind of funny. And they'd be like, this is pretty good. And then like it's cool because when you have like friends who are into similar concepts, you can like run stuff by them. And if it's actually like good, you can make something. Like my friend Adam, I had this wackadoodle idea for one of his like concepts for an FTV film, and it ended up like being made into an actual thing called Wife Beater, where she like retrieves this guy's chain for him and he's like being kidnapped and there's like a ring where they're like stealing people's do-rags and chains and bonnets and stuff and it's a crazy like alternate universe type thing and I was like wouldn't that be funny and he was like that needs to happen and it did happen and it was super cool to see that come to life. Yeah, so yes, I think I answered that.
So talking about your own stuff, what kind of character would you like to play the most as an actress?
Okay,
Yeah, right, right, right.
yeah, that's the
Yeah,
one.
right.
Okay, so I really want to be a final girl in a horror movie really
Ooh.
bad, like the one who's like like close encounters with death, but like she makes it out by the skin of her teeth. She's covered in blood, or like she's secretly the murderer, and you're like, oh my god, no. And I also really want to do a rom-com. Like I really want to be like the girl who's like, and then she's like walking down the street, like holding her latte with 2 hands and like looking up at this snow falling or whatever. And then I would really want to be in an action movie. Like I always thought Storm was super cool. I still am like a big Marvel nerd and like DC buff. Like I love DC. I have all of the comics. And I just wanted to be Poison Ivy so bad. And yeah, so like that was so broad, but really just I really enjoy because I've mostly played comedic characters. I would really like to go for something more dramatic or go for something more romantic because I think that stuff's cute and fun.
That would be amazing. You in a rom-com, I could definitely see it.
And then they call Paul Mescal and they're like, guys, like we have a new rom-com for you. And I'm like, oh my God, like
Literally,
what? I
right?
get
Come on. When are you going to be in a movie, by the way? This isn't even part of
literally,
the interview. When are you going to be in a movie?
I've been kind of busy. I've been doing a lot of different things, man.
Hmm.
But I do have a film coming out called Tides. It's like a really cool short film.
I
It was like
saw.
produced and stuff. It's really cool.
I saw. Is it out? Is it like
It's not out yet. It needs to be edited and whatnot, but we're expecting for it to release towards the end of the year. It's a really beautiful piece of film. I'm a super big fan of that. Love it, love, love, love it.
no, it looks great. Like I saw it on Instagram. Is it animated? Is it like
No, no, no. I it's not animated. It's just like it's like a really heartfelt film that's about the processing
mm,
of grief over time and like the pain and like difficulty that comes with working through the death of someone who's close to you. And that's the loose concept that I can give before like spoiling everything. But it's
mm,
really good. You should watch it. I am working on an animated project though. I'm doing PR and ad for a senior thesis called Set in Stone, which
ooh,
screens on May 7th at the Felino. So check it out.
I definitely will. So who are some of your favorite characters? Why do they resonate with you? You know, we talk about Poison Ivy, Miles Morales.
I rock with Poison Ivy because she's like, I don't know, she's just so cool. Like I love her hair, I love her outfit. Yeah, we love Miles Morales. I love anyone who Io Debris plays. I am a huge fan, huge fan of Sid in The Bear because I relate so heavily. I've always loved Mabel Pines from Gravity Falls. Like I feel like she's so me. Like she's so me. You
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
she is so
Hmm.
me. And
Hmm.
I love her very much. I watched a lot of Cartoon Network growing up. So like I was always watching Cartoon Network. Like I wanted to be, oh my gosh, and Chowder. I love Chowder because I feel like Chowder is so May. Chowder is May. And I really like what was I saying? Amazing World of Gumball. I love Darwin.
Yep.
Love Darwin.
Yep.
Love Darwin. I love Marceline from
Yep.
Adventure Time. I'm a huge fan of Adventure Time. I always want, like, I was hoping in my mind that I was Marceline, but I knew all along that I was Tree Trunks. And that's okay. That's okay. That's how it is. Sometimes you're Tree Trunks, other days you're Marceline, and that's really just how life goes.
Hmm.
But in terms of like real media, I was also like a huge fan of Austin and Ally. I
Ooh.
like Trish. I like Trish, and she like does a bunch of jobs, and I thought that was nifty. So those are some of my favorite characters.
No, Mabel Pines is like so you. I'm not gonna lie. I saw a clip of Gravity Falls. Mabel Pines. I can't get you out of my head whenever like Mabel Pines is on. It's
Just copy and
like
paste my face directly onto her,
literally
and
right. No, I'm gonna edit just like a Mabel Pines clip just with you, and nobody's gonna know the difference.
real,
So,
real.
what would you say are some of like your defining things that you wish more people knew about you?
Um, 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 I wish more people knew that I'm like very, I don't know. I don't come from like I don't really have like connections in the industry. I'm very much a self-made person. Like my mom is a first generation immigrant from Jamaica. I am a first generation college student. No one else in my family has like gone to and completed college. Um, you know, we didn't come from like a really rich family, like super like, oh yeah, like my granddaughter's Barbara Streisand's dog walker's uncle's best friend's cousin. So I'm on Broadway and I'm 12. Like, no, that was not life. I really had to like make a lot of the things that I have, if not all of the things that I have. Like, it came from a drive to want better for myself. And like, yeah, it was tough times, and everything I do is for my mom, and my mom is super cool. And I'd also say, like, I don't know, I can beatbox sometimes if I'm feeling so inclined. I have a 6 foot wingspan because of my hyperextension. Um, I can do a really good impression of the floating lady from Chowder who's like, "You started out like fun, then you're done." Didn't that sound just like her? Oh, and I can do the Watch Mojo lady. Welcome to Watch Mojo. And today we're counting down our picks for top 10 saddest anime moments. Isn't that
Whoa.
real? What can
If
I
I could
say?
applause, if I weren't
What can
holding
I
my
say?
phone in my hands,
What can I say?
great job, Karma. Great job. Great job. Have you ever like thought of voiceovers?
Yeah, I love voice acting. Voice acting is super fun. It's something that I've been
Mhm.
told multiple times over and over to get into, and I'm just kind of like, okay, but then I don't do it because I don't know how to do it. But like, if anybody wants me to voice act in anything, I can do it. I literally just don't know. I don't know. I was voice acting for a video game called Friday. Not Friday Night Funkin'. It was What's
Oh,
Rappin', the rap version of Friday Night Funkin', and it's super cool. Yeah, I do some voice stuff on the side. I am definitely interested in getting more into it because I have like a really wacky vocal range. Like when I talk, you never know what volume or pitch we're coming in at. It just kind of goes.
you're really like bubbly and confident in yourself. Like I love that so much. I have to ask, like, what gives you so much faith in yourself? Like, what gives you so much confidence?
Pain and spite,
Mhm.
hatred and
That'll do.
burn.
Yeah,
Snipe.
yeah, yeah.
No,
Demons.
it's like it was literally like, honestly, I was hated for every aspect of who I was. I literally, there was nothing that I could do correctly, so I figured that I would do it authentically, because if they're going to hate me because of the way that I look, because of the way that I talk, because of my skin tone, because of who I am, then those are things that are out of my control. What I can control is how I view myself and how I stay true to myself. So I just started doing whatever I wanted because I was like, okay, you're going to hate me anyways. And then they started liking me. And I was like, okay. So just like do what you wanted. It's literally because like I got bullied so hard. I got bullied so hard for so long for literally everything about myself. And I was heartbroken. I was crestfallen. I was behooved to find out that, like, it was because they felt that I contained something within myself that they lacked. And, like, a lot of the times they would let it out on me because they're like, damn, why are you so loud and annoying? Which is like, I'm scared to talk. So if you're scared to talk, then that's a you problem. I'm going to talk. And if you want to like be better for yourself, you have to like pull yourself by your bootstraps and freaking do it. You can't hate on other people or wait for someone else to come and scoop you up out of your shell. Sometimes you just got to throw yourself out of it. Like I feel like, yeah, like for a long time, I let it get to me really, really hard. And I was like, dang, what's wrong with me? Like, what is wrong with me? Why am I so like, why do people not like, what is wrong with me? And then I realized, like, dang, what's wrong with them? Don't want to have fun. You don't want to be silly. You don't want to have fun. That sucks for you. But I'm not living my life for you. So I'm gonna do my own, I'm gonna do my own thing. But like, you know, but like, it's, you just have to choose yourself. You have to choose yourself and the path that's going to make you the happiest. Because if you spend your entire life catering to other people who do not understand you or your history or your past or what you've been through to get to this point, then you're going to be wasting your time forever. And that's sad.
Whenever you speak on this topic in particular, on like why you do what you do and like the message that you're trying to give to your audience, and like young Black girls everywhere, it's so important because it's not said enough. It's really not said enough ever. Authenticity is so important, and you just vibrate that. So, I will ask you, like, do you ever have to code switch? You know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah, all the time. Frequently, I code switch. I grew up in a very suburban area and in a family that recognized the um, demographic of the different schools in West Palm Beach, Florida, and kind of the way that I would be viewed if I didn't um maintain myself to certain standards. And it was really, really stifling because there is no right way to be Black. There is no correct way to be a Black woman and take up space, because even if you're doing it in the most polite way that keeps every other race around you the most comfortable as they can be, they're going to find something else to hate about you. And it's genuinely ridiculous. Like the way that the reason that I compose myself the way that I do, and the reason that my lexicon is so extensive, is because I had this extreme constant pressure that if that I was viewed in a social deficit, and I had to make up for the fact that I was walking into the room as a Black woman. I was taking up space as a Black woman. And that was one of the first things that people saw in the environment that I was growing up in. It was one of the first and last things that people wanted to know about me. So I had to make up for it with my personality and with my intelligence. Now I'm in a much more open area. Like, obviously, I live in California. People aren't like that as much. And they're always like, why are you so well spoken? Oh my God. And I'm like, why do you expect anything else from a Black person? Why do you expect anything else? Why is this a monumental triumph for you? Why are you trying to put Black people on a standard where if they don't speak the way that you want them to, they aren't worth listening to? Like, I guarantee you that the people who don't have the accent or inflection who you're expecting to hear, like, have 10 times more to talk about. Like, my mom, a lot of people didn't take my mom seriously because of her accent, because she's very, very Jamaican. And like, it was the most ridiculous thing because she is one of the most hardworking, dedicated people I have known in my entire life. Everything I do, every single ounce of strength and inspiration I have within me is from my mom. So when people would be willing to listen to what I have to say and brush her aside because of the way that she speaks, it was genuinely ridiculous because she's the source material, guys. Like, go to her. But either way, it was really, really upsetting. Yeah, I still have to code switch in my day to day quite frequently if I'm in, usually in like professional settings, and where I have to advocate for myself because I'm self-managed. I'm self like a lot of things I do for myself because I wasn't given the opportunities. But now that I'm being given the opportunities, I already know the skill. Like, I already know how to manage my own affairs. So I'd rather not have anyone else take it over because they might not have the same vision. But yeah, when I have to reach out to brands, like brand outreach, with professors, oftentimes I have to code switch when I'm in certain influencer events and whatnot. If they expect me to speak a certain way, I have to adhere to that. And honestly, just like making friends at a new school. I'm in Orange County, so it's it's an area. And a lot of the times you're going to be faced with people who are not used to seeing Black people, and you need to almost be palatable to them. And it's really difficult and it's really upsetting, but it is something that I go through on a daily basis. Very frustrating, but yes.
So you mentioned like influencer events where you have to like so they ask you to what like hey be Karma Carr for this or like what do like something like that or
It's never usually that direct. It'll be more so, people will want a certain version of you. Like, they'll want the karma car that can walk into a car dealership and get a great deal. They'll want the karma car who people want to lease a house to, but they don't want the karma car who like sat in her room and like dances to Nicki Minaj and like reads books at the same time. Like, they can't, those two ideas can't coexist in their minds because they view themselves as singular, so they try to make you singular. But like a lot of the times it'll just be like, oh, maybe like for this event it's very like, high collar, like tone it down. That's one thing I hate, just tone it down. But you'll always get the tone it down comment from different people, but I don't work with people that tell me to tone myself down. So
I think being on TikTok like some people would argue that like there's barely any sense of community. Like I've heard the argument that like since there are so many followers and it's so easy to just scroll and scroll and scroll, like people could recognize your face, but they may not recognize the name. So like, do you agree that there's a little sense of community? Like, do you sometimes wish you had more?
um I feel as though the sense of community diminished as like the goal diminished. Like in 2020, when we were all in quarantine and we all just wanted to be with other people, that was what we were doing. Like, we were making dance trends and different ways to like connect with one another. But now the goal is usually to sell you something or to push an idea or to create a micro trend that gets you fake like viral enough to go and like make money to survive in this unlivable economy that we're in. But yeah, no, the sense of community went as soon as the shared goal went. So I think that if we all just kind of like agreed to focus on the humanity aspect of it again, then that would probably like come back. But I don't think we can get anyone on the same page without a global pandemic again. So I really don't know. I have great mutuals and I'm a huge fan of talking to them. I feel like me and my followers, like me, we hang out because it takes a certain kind of kindred spirit to like get janky with the juice that I produce.
That was an amazing analogy. I will remember it for the rest of my life. Thank you so much for that experience.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome.
I with like the sense of community and all that stuff, obviously you've had to encounter like negative feedback or hate comments or something like that on your content, especially like with the kind of content that you create. Like how do you power through that? And what advice would you give to people if they're facing similar challenges through?
I block certain words in my comments, number one. Number two, I am not afraid of the block button. And number three, I don't care anymore. Like at first, it really hurt my feelings. Like in my sophomore year, I would read the comments and cry. Like I would sob like a baby because people were so mean to me for no reason. And I wanted to quit really badly. And then after a while, I was like, dang, it's never that deep. Like they really don't know me at all. And I think that if they did know me, they'd either be like, okay, well, you're still weird, but I'm like not gonna say it to your face, or they'd be like, you're okay. So I just leave it at that. And maybe if we knew each other like in person, I wouldn't hate them. Like I wouldn't feel as negatively. Like I would understand why they're making the comment that they're making if I knew them. But they don't know me and I don't know them. So it's really never that serious. And I never know what they're going through in their own personal lives. So maybe it's a moment of weakness. Maybe it's been a really difficult week. Maybe your helicopter crashed and you lost your llama and you're having a really tough time and you just needed to leave a hate comment on a video. That's maybe not the best thing to do, but you did it and it's okay because I don't really care, but don't do it to anyone else. Like, I'd rather it be you leave a hate comment on my video because I really don't care than you leave a hate comment on like some random person's video and they get really affected by it and like get thrown off of what they're doing. Like, I'm at a point right now where I'm like, okay, you can hate me. You're still giving me your attention, you're still giving me your time, and you're still pushing my video to the algorithm by commenting. So
That's great to hear from you. Uh, so why is what you do important for you? Like,
my content, the creation of my content, like it is just who I am. Like it's me sharing myself and it's me sharing my heart to the world and to people who can connect to it. And because like growing up, I did not like I didn't see anyone who looked like me making things that I make nowadays. Like I
what is a scene from a movie or TV show that you would say heavily impacted you and or who you are?
the the ending of Code Lyoko, when Code Lyoko ended, I fully broke down. Like I started screaming and crying. I punched a hole through the TV. I couldn't do it anymore. Like it was one of the it wasn't like a hole through the plastic, but like when it was like old TVs back then and it was like a big box and there was a screen in the TV, I punched the screen into the TV because Code Lyoko ended. And I loved Code Lyoko. That's the only thing I can like, it had a physical reaction. Like I don't know what was making me so sad that day, but it was not a good time. I was not happy.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe you watched Code Lyoko. Nobody knows what that is.
I love
No.
Code Lyoko. Yeah, like nobody knows it either, which is criminal. But I used to watch that every single day.
If you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would you give and why? Maybe it's don't punch TVs. I'm
Yeah.
just throwing it out there.
I think it would more so just be comfort because like No, because like the difficulty of like my upbringing was what made me want better for myself. So I don't really think I would say anything to her because if she ends up here, then I think it'll be okay. But I would say invest in Bitcoin, probably, get into stocks. Um, yeah, give her all of the lottery numbers. That's it. All of the lottery numbers, invest in Bitcoin.
What are the moments on set or on stage as an actress where you realize like, yeah, no, I made the right choice pursuing acting. Like this is one of my passions. Like what were one of those moments or what are those moments for you?
Usually afterwards, when people like come up to you and tell you how it affected them and how they saw it, it makes me like so happy because I'm like, yay, you liked it, you perceived it, you digested the information. And yeah, when I was like 5 years old singing Miley Cyrus The Climb to audition for the school choir, I was like, this is sick. This is awesome. I loved this. And I was having an awesome time. Usually just afterwards, getting to talk to people and see what they thought of it and see like how they felt about the show. And like, especially if you're doing something really deep, like if you're doing something that's like conceptual, then if they get it, it's like super fun. Like when I did Pippin, I was super happy afterwards when people were like, oh my gosh, like this little thing and this little detail. And like when people pick up on your character choices, love that. Love that.
I have to ask, like, what does the future look like for you, Karma?
The future,
Yeah.
man, I can't see the future, but I assume it looks like super duper 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 uber mega super rich,
Mhm.
like, and then super happy, super fun, super gorgina. One big fat dog, one big fat cat, a beautiful home in the cottage of the woods, like a little nice house. No, like a big house, but like a nice house, like not like a weird modern mansion. And I'm like creating every single thing that I want to make simultaneously at the same time. And I'm like having a great time doing it. And then eventually like opening a production company and getting other people to like do the same thing and like starting agencies and stuff so I can like uplift the Black community. And that's really what I foresee in the foreseeable future. And then getting old and fat and happy and staying alive forever because cryogenic freezing has finally reached a stage where it's viable.
You mean in the future, right?
Yeah.
Or did they tell you this at NASA?
Oh.
Yeah, they were on to you, Karma. I'm gonna come out and say it. Okay. Next song when? Please.
I'm gonna be working on a song this summer.
Okay,
Yeah,
good,
I don't
good.
know
I
when
can
it's gonna come out, but I'm gonna try and make one soon. Like people have been asking, I didn't know people would want more music. Like I was like, okay, music is fun, and then they were like, more, and I was like, yay! So I'm excited. Now I'm gonna like start divulging into new genres and stuff, and like working on because I listen to a lot of indie music. I listen to a lot of funk. I listen to a lot of soul. I listen to a lot of pop, R&B. I want to do like every single genre of music ever. So this summer I'm going to start making more music.
I love that. So like keep up, right? Your
Mhm.
debut single, you did so amazing on that. You have to tell me about like the production of Keep Up. And like how did like tell me everything, please.
So luckily for Keep Up, I had an exceptional producer, Drew Lewis. Drew Lewis was super, super cool. And he was just like, what do you want to make a song about? And I was like, I need everyone in the world to keep up. And then he was like, yeah. And then we made the song. And honestly, creating the lyrics took all of 2 days. We were just writing them together and we were like having the most fun and putting in all of these random jokes. And then the recording process took around maybe like a couple weeks, like a month. It was more so like the preparation and like thinking about, oh, like which chorus goes where, like the technical aspects. But yeah, it was super fun. It took maybe 2 or 3 months, and then we released it from August to November, August, September, October, November. 4 months. Whoa. It was super fun, super cool. We love it. We love it. We love it. And then I got to drop it on my birthday, which was super, super cool and super, super awesome. And now I want to like make a music video because it's super, super, super duper, uber duper fun.
So basically, like, writing your first song was an amazing experience, right? Right, right.
Yeah, I had a great time. It was literally so much fun. Like it's such a fun, upbeat song. I really wanted to go into it and make something like Boney M because I really love listening to Boney M. And I really love 70s music and I really love like a happy go lucky, like kind of dance around song. And that was what we made, and it was super duper cool. Like I was very glad that the vision came true.
Okay, I'm satisfied with knowing that you're working on music in the summer.
Mm.
Again, we don't know when it's going to come out, but I know that we're getting something else at some time. Uh, about the NASA thing, tell us more about that. Is it an internship? Like,
Yeah. So I'm currently doing a communications internship for NASA where I write some of their social media blog posts. I do short form and like alt text, and it's like super duper cool. And I get to write about interns and like what they're doing at NASA, and it's super cool and bring attention to STEM and just like make it a lot easier and more accessible for younger generations to get interested and involved with STEM and bring diversity to STEM, which is so important. Like looking at the history of NASA, we want to like encourage every single person, regardless of race or background or identity, to apply for these internships and seek like careers at NASA because some of our greatest minds of the generation were not included previously just because of their race and because of like their identities. So since we're in a progressive age, our science needs to be just as progressive to adapt to like an incoming population that is anything but like straight and narrow. Like everyone is so very different nowadays that we have to be able to like we have to be able to keep up with them. Like we have to be able to like envelop and make everyone feel represented in the science that they're seeing and in like the government that's representing. Like we're going to space.
yeah.
Everybody needs to be able to see themselves in that spaceship. Like, you know? So we should all be able to access STEM and view ourselves within those positions. Like it's not been that way for way too long. And it means a lot to me to be able to like share those stories and help push that goal because it's very, very important to me. And it's very similar to why I do what I do with my content. So yeah, that's NASA. It's super cool, super fun. I have an awesome mentor. His name is Evan Flatt. He's super funny. It's like all of the posts are super, super cool to make. And it makes me just so happy when I can make like a little online reference and be like, see, guys, we get you. And then they're like, oh my gosh. And I'm like, yeah, apply. But we're doing an amazing job. We've had like the most applications we've ever had. And it's like, hey, I like to think I played a small part in that.
when when you told us about the whole NASA internship thing, I was like, no, I need to know more about this. Cause like I'm not gonna lie, Karma, you just gloss over it in all of your videos, like, yeah, I'm at NASA, but also like, wait, like, holy
Yeah,
crap.
I
Like,
don't really divulge into it just because I'm like, there's so much, like, I don't know, I'm working on so many different things that I'm like, NASA. You know, at first it was jarring. It still is jarring. It is, I think, honestly, because it's so wild, my brain is like, yeah, and it rationalizes it into any other internship or any other job. But no, it is really like a remarkable feat. It's very exciting for me. Like I literally, when I was a little kid, I would just look up at the sky all the time and I'd be like, oh my God, the stars are so cool. I wish I knew what all that meant. And now I get to literally work for the people who go and see them like in person and stuff. It's so cool. It is really, really cool. And everyone should do it. Apply to be a NASA intern.
while we end things off here, you've been so amazing. I want to ask you one more question. So I asked you what advice you'd give to your younger self. You said that you would keep things the same so that you could end up the same way that you are now. I think that was a beautiful answer. But what advice would you give to little Black girls who were in the same spot that you were, or are on the same path as you, or just to look up to you, what's a message you want to give to them?
I need every single Black girl on this planet to know that she is not indebted to anyone for her existence or for the space that she takes up or for being talented. Like for having talent, for having a loud voice, for having anything that is viewed as negative. Like I was told I couldn't do ballet because of the shape of my body, like the natural shape of my body. I was told that I couldn't do ballet. And I quit after that. Like I literally, I wish I didn't quit. Like I wish that I never quit. And I just want to tell them all to never, ever, ever quit because someone else is making you feel like you can't do what you need to do. Don't quit until you feel like you cannot go any further and you've worked it to its ends. Like you do not quit. Do not give up on yourself and psych yourself out with ideas that other people are going to try and put in your head to belittle you and keep you small and keep you silent and keep you complacent for your entire life because they know that if they gave you a microphone, if they let you speak, if they heard your voice, you would outshine 90% of the people who are already in these positions. You need to allow yourself to be great because once you create the platform for yourself, it's like it's yours to shine on. Just don't let anyone else try to take away your building blocks and tell you that you can't make yourself a platform, you can't give yourself this, you can't do this for yourself. No, you literally can and you will and you must. And it is your duty that you owe to yourself to go out into this world and let them see you. Because for years, nobody would let us be seen, let us be heard, let us be seen and accepted and enveloped and loved wholly for who we are and every aspect of who we are, regardless of if it's too much or if it makes other people uncomfortable with the fact that they want to do more with their lives. Because a lot of the times you're going to be great and they're going to be jealous. They're going to be mad. You're going to be great and they're going to be mad. But that doesn't mean you have to stop being great. It means you have to get greater and keep them mad. And one day they'll be angry enough to change, or they'll be angry and they'll stay angry. But that's not your problem because you're too busy being great. You do not have to worry about anyone else's opinions of you. Like, if I had $1 for every single time, and all of these people are going to be the same exact ones who pull up on you maybe 5 years later and say, hey, I'm so sorry. Like, and they're so sorry. They're always sorry, but they're never better. And you just have to keep moving forward because, like, if you wait and you spend your time waiting for apologies and waiting for someone to give you a handout or waiting for someone to give you a leg up into the space that you need to build and own yourself, it's never going to come. You're going to be waiting forever. You rely on the people around you to not like rely on the folks who want to see you succeed. You know, like stay connected to your community. Make sure that you don't forget your roots and where you come from. Make sure that you don't detach yourself from your history because you feel as though being Black and not being like super rich isn't something that's like presentable. Okay, it's going to be presentable if I'm presenting it to you and this is how it is. Boom, presentable. Like just accept every aspect of yourself and use it to fuel the things that you create rather than like stifle it or try to hide anything. Like just bare your soul and I guarantee you that somebody out there is going to resonate with what you say. I never thought that anyone would have like connected with the things that I wanted to make and the things that I wanted to see. And eventually like everyone kind of came out of their shells and it was just like amazing. And now I have like these fantastic people around me who are so uplifting and so kind and so loving and want to see me succeed. But it took me years. It took me years and it took me pain and it took me work and it took me anguish. But I got there. And I want every single, like, I just really wish that I could take every Black girl by the hand and walk her from my childhood home up to where I am now and let her see that it's possible and let her see that it's painful and let her see that I felt how painful it was and let her see that I still do. and that it's gonna be okay. No matter how like painful it is going to be okay because you have something within you that is unkillable. Like no matter how much people will try to smother it or cover it up, it is within you. It's too late. They cannot deny you from being great. They cannot stop you. The only thing that can stop you is yourself. That's all.
I'm so, so glad that I chose you to interview because that was the most amazing answer that you possibly could have given to that question.
Thank
But
you so much for choosing me to like interview me. That is so cool. Like I'm so excited to see it. I'm so excited to see it. I am so excited. Please keep me posted on everything you make and everything you do forever and ever and ever. And I will be like, yay, Brandon!
thank you.
Congratulations. And then you will be like, yay! And I'll be like, yay! And it'll be great. It's gonna be so
Dude,
good.
yes, thank you so much, Karma, for being here. Is there any last things that you want to say?
Go to your local Thai restaurant, order mango sticky rice, and eat it in a booth with your best friends. Toodles. Love.